I recently went on a trip around Georgia and brought back a lot of photos. And to be honest, when I opened this huge pile of photos, I realized that the whole process from selecting them to color grading them would take a lot of time because I always use Adobe Bridge to sort my photos and Adobe Camera Raw to edit them. But honestly, I got so tired of this whole process that I decided to try something new. I mean, why not? So this time I decided to try a new photo editing program from a company I am already familiar with. It's Dehancer. It turns out they created a separate application specifically for photos called Dehancer Desktop. I have already played around with this program a little and now I will show you what you can expect if you download it. Here on the left I can see that Dehancer Desktop has scanned my SSD and it can see all of my folders with photos. First of all, of course, I would like to select the photos I like, and I can already see a filter here right away. That means I will be able to sort through all these photos very easily. But first, let's go to the second tab and create a project. A project is needed so you can collect all the photos you like from different folders into one place. To organize everything, I will open the first folder and mark the photos I am interested in with 5 stars. You can also press the space bar and the photo will open in full screen. This way I will select the photos I like from different folders. Then, in menu on the left, I will remove the unnecessary check marks and leave only the 5-star filter enabled. This way only the photos I have selected will remain. Then I will right-click and add these photos to the project I created. Once I have added all the photos to the project, I will switch to the second tab and I will see that it's now full of all the photos I selected. Then I choose the first photo and here's something I already like. There are preview thumbnails of this photo with different presets, which means different film simulations. On the right I can see that there are a lot of different menu categories. Overall, this menu looks very similar to the one I have in the Dehancer plugin for DaVinci Resolve. It's basically the same: film profile, film developer, film compression, halation, bloom, and so on. For the best results, I recommended starting from the very beginning. First of all, we are going to correct the light and shadows in our photo because if you don't do that, the film effect might look a little strange. I can see that on the right we have two different raw processing engines. One is from Apple and the other is from Dehancer. The first one is how Apple sees the raw photo. Apple immediately applies its own processing to the image. The result is cleaner and brighter. The Dehancer engine interferes with the image much less, preserving a more natural look and giving more flexibility for the film presets. Let's choose Apple, and you will immediately notice that now I cannot adjust the photo temperature directly. To do that, I need to open the White Balance custom tab. Here I can adjust the photo's temperature, tint, exposure, shadows, make the colors more vibrant, and so on. Next, I can crop the photo, but I don't need to. Honestly, I rarely crop my photos. In the Source tab, I can also adjust the exposure, but the result is a bit rougher or more subdued, so to speak. I can also adjust the photo's temperature here, but I have already done that above, so I don't need it. Below that we can choose a film stock. I enable the checkbox and a film effect is automatically applied, but honestly I find it easier to choose the film stock from the panel on the left. By the way, if you have applied unnecessary adjustments, you can always press reset and all the settings will return to their default values. That's really convenient. Once you have decided on the look, you can go to the Film Developer tab and play around with the contrast or color saturation. And in the Film Compression tab you can adjust the white point. There's also the Expand tab, but you need to be very careful with it because it's quite aggressive. It also adjusts contrast and highlights. Below that it's our favorite Print tab, and I can see that I can change the photo's tone and the paper type. Overall, this tab simulates optical printing from a film negative onto photographic paper or positive film. Depending on the profile you choose, the color reproduction of the effect will change, so don't rush. There's also the Color Head tab. It's similar to adjusting the color temperature, but you have more color controls here. I'm happy with my current look, so I don't want to apply these adjustments to the photos right now. Here we also have our favorite Film Grain tab. You can choose the grain size from very fine to very large or customize it however you like. Once you are done with the grain, you can move on to the halation tab. In simple terms, this is when the bright edges of silhouettes and objects in a photo glow slightly red. This effect could be seen on films like Kodak Vision 3, Cine Still 800T, Kodak Portra and Kodak Gold. There is also the bloom effect. It softens the highlights, but I am not a huge fan of this effect, so I rarely use it. I already had a mist filter on my Fuji X100V, so I have played with that effect enough. Film damage adds imperfections to your photo as if it had been shot on old damaged film. Sometimes it's a really interesting effect and I do use it from time to time. The Overscan tab applies this kind of effect to your photo. And by the way, if you also increase scale and reduce lens zoom, you will get this interesting black border around the image. By the way, the vignette in this program is very gentle, and I really like it. A good vignette always helps draw attention to the subject in any photo. And if at the very end you realize you have gone too far with the effect, you can always reduce their intensity in the output tab. Honestly, among all these tabs, I still didn't find a lens correction tab, so it would be great if the Dehancer team added one in the future, because I have a Viltrox 28 lens and it has very strong vignetting. It would be great to correct the vignette directly inside this program. This program supports batch processing, so if you have a set of similar photos, you can apply the same effect to all of them simply by right-clicking and copying the settings. Overall, I am really happy with this program and I think I will continue using it in the future because it's something new for me. So thank you very much for watching and I will see you in the next videos.